Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my Devlog series on a survival game that really has no name. And yeah, so over the past, I think about 3 weeks, I've done not a lot, but obviously in the last episode, I had barely anything. I had a very basic movement system, which was quite broken, and a very janky pickup system that, well, has been since deleted. So what I have done over the time since the last episode is I've redone the movement system, and I have added an inventory, and because of that I also redid the entire pickup system so that it feels a lot more smooth and all that. Now, none of these features are completely done, nor are they beautiful code-wise. They're very ugly structure-wise. I'm probably going to have to rewrite some of it. But these features will definitely make the vision of the game and the development of the game a lot easier because I have a base to work off of. So to get started on the details of what I have done, the movement system. Before, I pretty much used a very basic system of just moving or adding a small amount to the character's position based off of the key which is pressed. So W add, let's say 0.01 to the forward axis, and so on and so forth. But this method had a very big flaw in that it ran in the update function, which means that basically the update function is called every frame that is rendered. So let's say a computer had 60 frames and one computer had 120 frames per second, of course. Now the one for 60 frames a second is going to have 60 update cycles per second, and obviously the one with the 120 FPS is going to have 120 refreshes per second. Now the issue with this is that if you add 0.01 per update, the 120 FPS computer will get double the distance, therefore double the movement. And this can be solved pretty easily with time.delta time, which I don't know why I didn't think of this, but yeah, it's a big problem, and it took me way too long to figure it out, which was like 15 minutes, but still. And yeah, I added time.delta time, it worked pretty good, but I didn't really like the movement because whenever you ran into a wall, you would always just get bounced back out the next frame, which looked pretty bad, and slopes were an absolute atrocity to try to go up. You try to go up them, you would glitch out. Which is why I eventually chose to go with Unity's inbuilt character controller. Now, it took about 2 weeks for my stubborn self to decide this because, well, yeah. So this about 2 weeks later, and I finally used it, and it was a lot easier to implement than I thought. I thought it was going to be a bit difficult to do. Turns out it wasn't. I don't know why I thought it would be, because Unity is known for some of its features to be very hard, but most of them are really nice to implement and quite easy and fluid. But all I did was just take in the horizontal and vertical input axes, which are inbuilt to Unity. They are under the input manager. If you don't know, I just got the axis, and basically, if you press W on the vertical axis, it will give 1, and S is obviously going to be -1, and then on the horizontal, I think it's A is -1 and D is +1. It could be the other way around. I don't know. But yeah, I just added that to a movement and then multiplied it by set movement speed, and then just did character controller.move, and it worked completely fine. And the movement is a lot better because the character controller, if I can English, has a lot of cool features inbuilt into it, where it doesn't, when you're going up slopes especially, it doesn't make you glitch out because it moves you up dependent on the slope of the incline that you're going up of, which is quite nice because it makes the movement look a lot more smooth and a lot less janky. So anyways, because I went out of chronological order, this may seem a little bit weird, but basically right after I finished, I think it was, let me think, after I finished a feature, which was on May 28th, we decided to go on vacation to somewhere in a very hot place, and yeah, and during that I didn't do a lot of work. I did make some models, and I did kind of improve, and I think on screen, because I'm doing this in post, this is just a voiceover, you should be seeing some models that I made, which should be like a tree, a rock, I think, and some other items. Now, they aren't that good looking, but they're at least just a start, so I could build a basic environment for my character to move in. And at the very start of my trip, I decided to make an inventory system. So I think it was like the night before we left, I started making the inventory system. Quite a dumb decision, because I've never made one before, and I don't really know the structure, or I don't know how to structure one, but yeah, so over some time, I came up with an idea, and I'll make a separate video once the inventory system is complete, because it's probably one of the most complex features inside of the game right now, and it needs a video on its own, but that will be out when it's finished, because it's not the best, and it's not, like, good structure, so I'll probably have to rewrite that, maybe. The structure is, like, easy to build off of, but, yeah, whatever. So actually, if you look on your screen right now, if you haven't, if you peer your eyes onto the bright light in front of you, you should see a showcase of the inventory in action. Now, just right now, you can drag and drop items inside your inventory, and there's images, so there's a rock and log. You can drag and drop them in any slot, and you can also drag them to the hotbar. Now, in the next clip, I think, if I get my ordering right, there is a hotbar where you could press a 1 or 2 to equip, and it will show up in your hand in front of your player. And you can drop that with press of the button Q, and you can then cycle between them, and then they will drop on the ground in front of you and be removed from your inventory. And now, if you hover over them and you press the button F, you should be able to pick them up, and they will be placed into your inventory. So yeah, that's pretty nice. That took me a little bit to figure out. I've never made an inventory system, like I said, and I'm not the best at programming, really. You know, haven't really taken any like classes for it or any computer science classes. I'm still in middle school technically, but yeah. And the final feature that I've added is the dragging. So in the previous episode, there was a pickup system where you could hold an object in front of you. That was very broken. It glitched out all the time in testing. You may not have seen it on the video, but it was not good. You would freaking fly out to space and stuff. That's an exaggeration, but it didn't work, is what I'm trying to say. And basically, what I wanted to do is, instead of it being just programming based, because that wasn't physics, it was just me putting the object about 1 unit away from the player's camera and called it a day. And that doesn't work out if you're trying to put it into a wall, because it won't react and it won't collide. It will just go boop straight through. And it took me a while to fix it. Not fix it, make a system that I thought would work. And then I spent about, I would say, 2 hours debugging it, because it was full of bugs. The forces were wrong. I was adding forces instead of just adding the velocity. But yeah, let me show you the clip of it actually working. So if I just pick up this object here. This is the wrong clip. Hold on. Hey, yeah, I need that clip. Yeah, that one. Alright, now if we get this clip running, you can see, oh my gosh, it works. Look at it. It's beautiful. It actually works. That totally wasn't 2 hours of my time that I just freaking wasted. And yeah. But yeah. That's about it I've done the past 3 weeks. Not a lot, really. In my opinion, I could have done a lot more. I was just lazy and stuff, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, maybe consider liking, subscribing, as I hope to post another devlog in around 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully, if I get around to doing it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.